in favor of State Green. So Complexity, going to try to get that momentum going back again, obviously coming off a high with the SGU victory. The counterparts of State Green, and now they're going to look to take out State Green themselves here in this best out of 3. So also one more thing to note, game number 1 here is going to be coming up, and it looks like the players might just about be ready to go. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see that countdown coming out here. But so game number 1 for at the event, it is still at the booth and everything. But after this game, we will be taking a short break and then get everything moved over, at least at the event itself, to the Dream Arena. So for you guys on stream, it really shouldn't matter in the end. You should expect the same production and everything. But for those that are at DreamHack, shout out to you guys, by the way, first off. But if you are at DreamHack, we will be heading over, or not us ourselves, but again, the Han booth and everything, they'll be transported over to the Dream Arena, and hours from now, about an hour and a half from now, that'll be set up to take place over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1, it has begun. Emperor, are we ready?
I'm ready, Breaky.
Complexity, State Green, game 1, championship match here, DreamHack Summer 2013. Let's jump in.
Woo!
Yeah, like coming at you. Complexity on the Legion side, State Green on the Hellborn side here. Here we go. Player cams as always. Again, I've been loving these player cams. I know a lot of people have, and I'm definitely glad we have them. You really get a lot of information out of them, man. From before the match to after the match to the selection stage, and how communication works and everything. Like for instance, right now you got State Green. Look at Swinnemounds. I mean, he's having fun. He's having fun, just bobbing, and you got Z Freak, playing the keyboard there.
And they're really actually getting into it. They're feeling hyped for this, man. They're feeling confident. Meanwhile, Complexity can't quite make out all of the what's going on, but they seem like they're pretty focused.
Yeah. Here we go on the planning stage, or the locking stage at least, with a Blind Bance. It was Keeper of the Forest, Parasite, and Low Stone and Scout. So it was pretty much as expected there from State Green side especially. Ophelia is going to be the second lock. Tempest was the first lock, of course. Ophelia Rally to follow. Magnus Pebbles. And there's the Pharaoh. So honestly, even more of a ban in a sense.
Yeah, Complexity, it was in the first game. They were looking pretty good early on. They actually had a Tempest pick of their own, picking Tempest over Keeper of the Forest, that being the counter jungler locked in that pool. In the end, falling prey, really. They made a couple fights where they were sort of pushing up here against a Keeper of the Forest whose ultimate was up on a lower cooldown than their Tempest and winded up. But in this time, going up against Ophelia instead if they opt to choose that Tempest. Honestly, Complexity is strong with both heroes. Don't want to really concede a Rally-Ophelia combo, though, in my opinion, over to State Green. So leaning more towards a potential Ophelia first pick. That being said, Tempest provides excellent synergy with that Rally as well, pulling them together with that ultimate, oftentimes leading to a multiple-person seismic slam.
We do see Master of Arms being banned. Speaking of synergizing well with heroes like that, Master of Arms not going to be seen here in this game. So War Beast is going to come out, the final ban from B-Kid. And now we got State Green going to throw theirs out, so they already did the turn to the Master of Arms.
Do you see what Tralf was? Oh, he was shadowing the Shadow Blade at first.
Oh, was he?
They actually were using him in quite a number of scrims, and well, to great success. Would be fun to see him here as a shocker pick in this Grand Finals game. Whether it'll actually come out or not is anyone's guess, in terms of what their carry is.
We've had plenty of fun picks.
Moomeander with the Drunken Master Shadow, a historic hero for him.
Yeah, it's definitely one of his.
Did receive buffs,
he was known on.
and I actually believe it's stronger now than its initial incantation, but people just don't seem too keen to using it.
No longer need to channel. That was definitely an annoying part of the hero.
So well, it made it a lot less fun to play for sure,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, definitely. First pick, not going to be a snap pick. Look at that, Bubbles eventually.
Engineer, Master of Arms, a lot of those heroes taken out of the pool. Deadwood banned out, Pebbles locked in, so really prioritizing that Bubbles right away. Going to give them their choice of support. Pyromancer, Torture. That's the most interesting thing to note is that they actually passed it up over a Torture. A favorite hero is State Green, and wouldn't be surprising to see them pick up a Torture snap response right here. And perhaps a Pyromancer as well. We've seen that do him plenty of times throughout this tournament. Trying to see if there's anything else we're missing. Two major here. Magnus also tied up in that lock pool. Now remember, this is the Grand Finals in terms of shock picks. There's some room for it. The teams have been preparing strategies, but more often than not, probably going to rely on consistent play.
Yeah, I would expect more on complexity. But again, State Green, I know they went on that loss streak and everything in the group stages as we were talking about, but clearly, they're back on track going into this Grand Final match, and it kind of go back to that logic of why try to fix what ain't broken, basically. So Swinnemounds definitely thinking about it. Again, this being the Grand Finals, game number 1, you got to figure the nerves are starting to kick in a little bit. They're not at the arena yet, so that's also most certainly going to play a factor as well. Once you do get in front of that huge crowd and everything. could definitely change things up a little bit. But Torture or Wretched Hag are going to be the first 2 picks here for State Green. So you mentioned that Torture signature pick. Sure enough, they do take it.
Yeah, to keep in mind here, once again, I don't think they're going to want to sacrifice that Ophelia rally over to State Green. I mean, State Green plays so well when they have those, hybrid offensive-defensive lineups. Heroes like Ophelia rally really synergizing well. Of course, not going to have that Master of Arms, but still, a team like Complexity, they like to play aggressive, man. We've seen that before. And the ability to shut down their ganks, he's still shadowing that pick on Shadow. I don't, honestly, normally I'd be like, oh yeah, that's just for fun. But because of the fact that they have been scrimming a lot with it lately, and they've been actually winning those scrims, would honestly not be shocked.
I am taking what Moomiander said, to heart. That he made it clear that they have tricks up their sleeve. They have stuff to try. So.
Right, but a support hero still needs to be chosen, though. Pyromancer on the board, Witchslayer going to be drafted instead alongside Glacius. So leaning itself more towards that Tempest first pick again, going up against an Ophelia, trying to make the big plays happen that way.
Witchslayer.
Yeah, it was a frequent ban in their series as well, too. Actually, I think maybe Complexity banned it once, State Green once. It gets lost in the phase, but yeah, both teams recognizing that they can play it.
Yeah. Neither team could go for, that really right-click arcade, the Moon Queen, the artillery, anything like that. From the looks of how we're shaping up, I doubt SG at least is going to finish off with that. Probably going to be the Hag or the Torture that they're going to rely on for that if necessary. But so that's something to kind of look out for as well. Definitely enticing more of an aggressive game at least. So that's good as a spectator to look forward to.
For sure. And remember when we've seen this Witchslayer, I've actually seen Trial Play and Moonblade for Complexity.
And B-Kid.
And in the past, B-Kid, not recently, though. B-Kid usually stuck on more of that strength carry role or the strength ganker. Wild Soul.
Okay.
Hasn't been drafted by, it hasn't not been drafted by State Green All Tournament, but now being picked up, and we actually saw Complexity using it very effectively in the, it was the first game there against
SG.
Yeah, and you saw what Ophelia, that's actually going to pressure them back into an Ophelia pick a little bit because of the power of Ophelia Wild Soul. Going to deny them that and perhaps screwing up their plans a little bit.
Hey, you know what also is good, though? Tempest Wild Soul, so it's
oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can argue Ophelia maybe a little stronger, but yeah, it's still a very powerful combination right there, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Tempest obviously picked up.
Sure, the pushing presence of an Ophelia Wild Soul cannot be denied. And also, the Glacius pick, outside of potentially planning of maybe going against Ophelia initially, it's also that immobilize against Rally. And while they're trying to set up ganks, a lot of the times, the Rally ports in, gets there a little bit late to the party, and saves the guy who's being initiated on with that compel backwards. If they're immobilized, up to 3 seconds by Ice Imprisonment level 4, can't do it.
Yeah. So here we go. Tralfamador is going to be playing the Witchslayer, by the way. B-Kid on the Pebbles. I love these guys, man.
B-Kid on Pebbles, man, that's also just a timeless player-hero combination. I think since the beginning of Han, essentially. When it has been Magnus, it's been Pebbles for B-Kid.
Oh,
a little bit with the Behemoth, too, but
of course.
Signature heroes of his and getting to play it now. And many years later, still remains on the top of the scene.
Yeah, I think both teams definitely could be very happy with the lineups that they eventually came up with. You mentioned Moomy into history that he has played in Witchslayer as well, so going to be doing that here to start the game. SG working as a team, going to go all to the top lane here, and they're going to try to maybe catch this Bubbles. Tralfamador on the Bubbles. He's going to go the Suicide, it looks like. At least going to go up here.
Go with the boots, or he's not shell surfing to get there sooner.
Yeah.
State Green really, really, really rushing it. He's got to be careful here. Walking Courier. Going to deliver a health potion. Got to be careful. Remember that game, Complexity, was it against State Green where they actually initially ganked the Courier? It was, and that's where Chessie winded up having to go back to base and buy a new one, too. It's an absolute disaster.
Yep. Look at this. Boo is actually even scouting it out for State Green, but yeah, Trolf knows something's up. He's going to actually drop the health potion at the tower right there. Send the Courier back to base, so doesn't want to keep it held up, of course. But in the end, State Green is going to fall back together.
State Green team frequently praised for their mechanical skill and, well, flawless play. Not really too keen on taking high-risk situations that don't result in much reward. Give them an early game advantage, and they've been known to just press it. Small advantages repeatedly building up until it becomes a lead so indomitable that you just cannot recover.
Trough again, going to try to get that Ward of Sight down eventually here. Swin of Melons is top with this rally in the meantime. So it is going to be a hag mid, actually, Slick's playing the hack going mid. You got
oh,
Raleigh
look at
Torch
that,
top.
man. Places his ward directly on top of the ward of sight. Perceptive play coming out there by Z-Freak.
Yeah.
He had to have had a read on it, man. They had to have done some research.
Oh, yeah, no, these guys
watching
have
him
been
in that
doing
role.
research,
And
yeah.
quick counter there, so strong start. Somehow,
just
you
lost
know,
it there,
Stay Green making those safe plays. Meanwhile, we've seen Complexity make a lot of risky plays, and sometimes it's actually turned out horribly for them where they've been throwing away their advantage, but they've also been claiming a lot of early game leads with huge plays.
Bubbles taking pressure right off the bat, too, and will be forced to fall back. So, again, though, I mean, what do you make of this? The fact that they sent Slicks here on Hag in the mid lane, usually you'd maybe expect to see that in short lane, and the Rally Torch or middle, but choosing to go the Hag middle instead here.
Yeah, well, the immobilized against the Rally, a little bit more frustrating as you're not able to push back against it. Probably not wanting to deal with it. Slicks on the Wretched Hag middle. Another hero like that Bubble is the Hag. Very powerful. You can leave them alone, and then they can pick up farm elsewhere. Didn't really want to send the Wretched Hag there, especially against the Bubbles. The Bubbles Wretched Hag matchup, more often than not with equal regen, actually favoring the Bubbles a little bit. So
In the end, Stay Green adjusting to what the opposition's doing in the end, and seems like it may work out for them.
Yeah,
When
not
it's
to
all said and
mention-
done, at least that's the goal, of course.
case like this, Rally's able to control the lane very handedly and pairs very well with the Torture here, being used to box out and keep Trelfmador out of the lane.
Yeah, Bubbles is yet again. I mean, in the previous series, he too had a struggling game. Actually, might have been when they played Stake in the previous time in the winners bracket where Trough was on that Bubbles, and very struggling start in terms of the lane situation. So not going to be much different here. The bottom lane in the meantime, Moomiander going up against KZU, Wild Soul versus Witchslayer. So the Suicide players happening to go against one another.
Moomiander actually killing Boo Boo
yeah.
there, so applying a lot of pressure. Obviously, pretty experienced here in this matchup, getting an early level advantage. If he's able to hit 6 before Wild Soul, get an effective gank off would be quite nice. Also, Wild Soul susceptible to those tower dives, especially once Ophelia gets going, level 5 or level 6, goes behind the tower. If they don't have a ward in the river, he has to be careful. Invis rune.
Yeah.
See, that's actually the thing. Trelfmador would always say, you gotta keep active. If you're being boxed out of lane, find a way to make yourself useful. Don't just sit around. Went over there to stack the ancient camp, so making himself useful in that way. And in the process, actually found an Invis rune. He was being entirely boxed out here in the top lane. With this Invis, is actually able to collect experience, and that is a huge game changer, and will change the flow of his early game momentum quite a bit.
I mean, you see right here, he's still level 1 actually.
Yeah, and he's getting denied, of course, and not getting as much, but trust me, every little point of experience matters.
Yeah, especially when you're really struggling for it like he is. He only has a 1 creep kill. I mean, you see all his
fade out and actually going to be spotted out already by Rally. So, you know what really screwed him is that when he got that Invis rune, the pull by Z-Freak. So, as much as I was praising the Invis rune,
really didn't do too much.
The effectiveness mitigated.
Yeah.
Z-Freak on top of his game. Early game, already going pretty handedly in favor of SG. Wild Soul's picking up experience. Really hard to deny him that in the lane, meanwhile.
The one biggest difference is B-Kid on Pebbles. 350 gold per minute. He is leading the way right now. GPM chart, of course, having a favorable matchup here in the middle lane.
Probably the most snowbally hero out there when you actually look at it. Pebbles really thrives on picking up that early portal key. When he's in more of a mid-roll, his portal key is usually delayed. If he has a good game, usually more about that 12-minute mark. Compared to the side lane Pebbles, completely uncontested free farm, picking it up more around that 9-minute mark. But as is, still in a pretty damn good place. Usually has a little bit more of a build-up path when he does that. Double damage rune being secured. Still double stuff of Ancients. He's got to be pretty frustrated, man. They're not giving him any semblance of lane control.
I mean, he's still level 1. Like, we always say, especially in Suicide Bubbles cases, get in that level 6 and then eventually just start roaming and setting up kills.
Is he going to start jungling? I mean, he's got the double damage rune for 20 more seconds.
Yeah.
He might move over to the hard camp and just say, hey, man, I need level 2.
Yeah.
Or maybe if I can find another way to make himself useful. Oh, he's checking the small camp, it looks like.
Not there, unfortunately. They do have an Ophelia, of course, so Riser's busy taking some camps here. But yeah, he's going to go ahead and find the Vulture Lord.
Jungle Bubbles making an appearance here.
But even Riser coming over says, yeah, I'm kind of the jungle too. I need my own farm. So
just helping him clear. I think this creep was going to give him level 2, so
yeah.
I'd be curious to see whether he gets his take cover or not, or just goes straight for the Song of the Sea, given that he's a little bit under-leveled and well, might want to have the impact as soon as possible. Yeah, he isn't going for that Song of the Sea, knowing that. Not picking up levels as much, not needing to take cover for the lane. Just wants to make himself have a potential gank presence as soon as possible.
You know, I do kind of wonder a little bit too. Why Tralf is even on bubbles in the first place over Moon Meander? You know, why aren't they switch? Why didn't they switch up?
Right, almost seems like a very standard role for him.
Yeah.
Moon Meander has been playing a lot of the Witch Slayer lately. But watch out here on the bottom lane. Oh, Wild Soul hitting 6 just in time. Is it going to be enough?
But he runs right into the whole team of Complexity, basically. Wild Soul is going to be bursted down as Tralf comes through with the shelter for the kill. Silver Bullet was even used. They get the Bloodlust
Definitely
kill,
did not need that Silver Bolt, though.
Yeah.
Normally I'm a fan of playing it safe, but he was literally probably down to, I feel like it was 20 health or something when it was used.
Yep.
Very low, after maybe. Hard to tell, but either way, an important pickup. Still not stopping him from hitting level 6, still picking up experience, but ultimately finding a way to keep active. Ancient's not going to get stacked in time, I don't think. Not in Shell Surf range, but going to camp that top rune in. Ophelia at the bottom, Refreshment Rune. Haste Rune going in favor of Bubbles now.
Yeah.
Following up for Beacon. Going to return it to the Stone Giant.
He's got all 3 runes for his team. The 2 he picked up, and that one bottling right
Getting
there.
lucky, eh?
Yeah, it's the Han God's in his favor.
It's not in his favor, though. Over level Tempest. Level 7 here, Chessie sitting at 330 gold per minute. Pushing the top tower. Looks like something that they're going to have to concede.
Torture's in trouble. The Vagabond leader nuke will it be enough for the kill. The Cyclone was even used. Nice job though with the chain reaction, stopping that and everyone else. Could use the health potion. Wild Soul doing what he can maybe for the entangle, but here comes that hasted Pebbles. Trying to find him the Chuck. The Stalagmites and Beacon will get credit for the kill. Now while that was happening, you do see the top lane being heavily pushed in by State Green right here as Chessie and Swinamelons both take it out. Chessie actually getting credit for the tower kill. So good news for both sides right there.
Yeah, quick ring of Sorcerer for Chessie after 380 gold per minute. Now you have to be careful. He gets that early Astrolabe. Kind of has a presence almost like Ophelia at that point in those fights. I mean, has the heal, but on top of that, that giant elemental void. Second tier tower being pressured, but this looks like something that they're going to want to say something about.
Yeah. It's not something you're looking to give up this early on.
Rune.
Can he get the angles? The question, obviously, with the rally, it makes it a little more difficult. And yeah, they're going to fall back. Bottom tower does go down in favor of Complexity, actually, even with Wild Soul and Torture here. They are still able to get the tower kill, so that worked out very well for Complexity in the end.
It's changing hands there, and Complexity actually taking the early game lead in farm. Although minimal, it is still something. Falling behind in experience, however, once again, back to that Wild Soul. Really tough to stop him just from leveling up across the board in that suicide lane, and you compare that to level 3 Bubbles, and that's where most of the disparity is.
Yeah. Swinamelons, he is camping here. He's gonna look for an opportunity. If he can catch, obviously, Tralfamador in a Compel Seismic Slam combo. That's a dead Bubbles for sure, so.
Sure. Does actually have to get a point of take cover here.
No, I'm not going to go in. Yeah, the take cover would also screw things up, ideally. For Bubble's sake, so it doesn't look like Swindle is going to find that opportunity in the end. We'll continue to farm, though. He is the top.
Almost losing,
not the top, but
right, and almost losing 2 lanes of farm here to Stay Green. If you look at it, though, Stay Green in control of the bottom lane right now. Wild Soul choosing to farm mid, and Rally controlling the top lane here against the Bubbles, so middle lane in favor of Complexity, but that is 2 out of the 3 lanes that they're controlling on top of the jungle right now. Should naturally see that experience continue to grow in their favor.
Yeah. Bottom lane, Witch Slayer double damage rune. He's just farming the creeps, and we saw this last time, I believe, he played the Witch Slayer. He actually gets the level in the power. He actually leveled it up even the last game. This time he only gets the 1 level in it, and now he gets the 2 in miniaturization, so getting a little bit more crowd control out of that miniaturization. Oh, the Flying Courier nearly picked off right there by Complexity. I believe State Green was just simply using that to maybe scout out real quickly, but almost cost it its life. We do see
that vision of it. You think he knows where it is, but it's hanging out over the tree line.
It is going to be fun.
They do have a ward up there, remember, though, so. No, I'm not going to see it, though. Oh, he's actually there!
Oh,
he picks it off!
Snipes it. Well played by Trout right there.
Man.
Meanwhile, the middle lane, Stalagmites coming out. Tempest in trouble. He does have that elemental void. Can we see the Tempest ultimate? Perhaps. No, he's not going to use it just yet. He's still alive, though. The Compel comes out for Raleigh, and Beacon will be taken out. Ophelia already falling back. Ophelia's touch was not used there, but probably figuring he's dead anyways. Does a Silver Bullet to take out Torture. The tower did get denied, by the way, but Wretched Ag now being locked down. Do they have enough follow-up? Trying to mana drain right there. Not going to be nearly enough for the kill, though, by any means. Raleigh has a Compel out. Going to go for Bubbles. Missing it, though. The takeover may have made a difference, too. Wretched Ag blinking in, but now she might be in some trouble in the meantime. She's dropping half life. I don't think they have enough mana to really pursue this. So that is going to be the end of the fight. Again, remember, tower did get denied. So definitely think that's a 1-5 for
most
Stay Green.
Important part of that exchange. It looked like, Glacius didn't have boots at the time, was moving up to try to get that level 2 Ice Imprisonment onto Wretched Hag. May have been able to drop her if that was the case, but in the end, just out of reach.
So how about that? How about the Legion Courier being killed by Chessie while that was all happening, apparently? So both couriers.
Oh my God.
Both
In the middle of
couriers
the
get
fight,
killed.
Chessie picked it off.
Apparently, I
Holy
didn't even
crap!
see it.
Yeah,
I mean,
one after the other before anything. Yeah, it was right when B-Kid was being dropped. Probably having something being delivered there. Wow.
Yeah, I can't. Definitely didn't even see that happen. I don't even know if that happened in the fight somewhere. And maybe we can look
I would
back at that.
Guess that it has something to do more when that fight with B-Kid, because Chessie killed and Chessie also killed B-Kid right after, so it had to be a courier delivering something to him and getting caught off guard, I'm sure.
Well, you see already State Grand, the Flying Courier, already good to go again, so somebody investing the gold in that. As far as complexity, same deal with them. So they both have their couriers good to go. Let's actually take a look back at that fight real quickly. Oh, we have the chance here to again see what happened. Again, that's okay. The courier is there at the base with them, so yeah, it just happens to get picked up. It's flying away.
Oh,
it looks like the minions.
Yeah, the elementals actually pick it off.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
They had it auto set to go back to base.
Yeah. In the meantime, in the fight, though, obviously Pebbles just overcommitting big time. The support came for State Green, and well, rest is history. There's a deny on the tower right there. You see the shell surf and complexity trying to get aggressive themselves again, but. Obviously, feeling it's at a point. Witchslayer was very low on mana for a lot of that fight later on, obviously.
He was. Well, he used that silver bullet, too. That compelled missing, but it looked like Take Cover was going to potentially dodge it anyway.
Yeah.
Moving forward now, back to the game. Pebbles about to pick up his portal key here at 1,950 gold. One more wave will secure it for him. Are they going to dip into the woods here to play it safe, or push it out? Actually sold, I didn't quite catch what he sold there. Either way, he picked up 200 extra gold right now, and pretty much has it. Now, we talk about that surprise factor whenever you pick up a portal key.
Yeah.
Well, the closest target to him, Wild Soul. Not really gankable here. 1,400 health and investments.
Yeah, not
maxed out natural
target.
attunement, just keeping him alive. So that's out of the question.
Not the one you want.
What's next? Yeah, port to middle lane. That's what's next.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be careful. Wild Soul does not have a port. He is nearby to walk to the fight, but in terms of forcing something, let's check out what kind of vision Stay Green has. Pretty much nothing to detect the Pebbles here.
Yeah, it seems like this could be a big opportunity for complexity. However, Stay Green.
Oh,
I think
Pebbles has showed himself.
Did he?
To a creeping, so I
out.
believe so, yeah. Just trying to come out instead and wants to move across.
So, but still, there is that factor. I mean, even with them knowing, I mean, now they got to play around that. So, Stay Green themselves, though, they are grouping up, looking like they want to throw out some defense here. How effective will they be able to be is the question. Ghost Marcher's purchased by Kazu, by the way. He's really just getting some build-up items here, not worried about rushing out Mock and Brilliance by any means. Is Kazu, and it looks like it is going to be enough to hold off for now. Stay Green, though, need to be careful because complexity looks like they're just going to reset some things here and not fully go back.
Kazu did go for those Ghost Marchers on the bear, actually, and on himself has totems, vestments, and boots. So, well, compared to a lot of Wild Souls that we see, actually has a decent amount of build-up. God, that is a tanky mess, man. Literally just sitting on vestments and 3 totems, 1,484 health at level 9.
I always just chuckle when I see that. It's
chuckle, cry, die a little inside.
Yeah.
Middle lane now being pressured by Stay Green.
You got up
together. The bear is here.
Booba's going to scout some things out. Rally going to maybe try to catch somebody. Not going to happen though. Vulnerability already being used. Pebbles is at the bottom lane currently. He does have a TP ready to go if necessary. The Ophelia minions coming in. The Skeleton King, no net going to be coming out. They will push back the creep wave somewhat, though.
I like that they're stalling the push while giving a hero like Pebbles Farm. He's going to port now, though. Doesn't he need to make something happen? Oh, no. Ring of Sorcery used just before he got in. I think he was timing it for the 3-second TP. He got in at 4. Pebbles now at a little bit lower mana. Going to have to use his bottle charges instead to pick it up. But Stay Green deciding it wasn't actually a good idea and dispersing, so a little bit of wasted time. And well, for Pebbles, too, the timing of his port was not ideal, considering they broke apart right after.
Yeah, falling back before. It's to get too involved right there. So, Kazu, despite all the investment he's put into these early game items, I mean, still another 1,300 gold saved up. So, again, it seems like he's coming along pretty nicely. 290 gold per minute. Chessie, how about Chessie, though? Leading the way overall, 415 GPM. He's got some nice utility items himself. Astrolabe, Ring of Teacher, played a great way. Sarah trying to pick off George one more auto attack. Yes, it will be a peek. It actually takes the kill. He needs to be careful, though. If he gets caught here, okay, he is going to be fine. I was going to say, Witchslayer, I believe, would have handled it in the end. But B-Kid wanted to really make sure. But now they're going to reset. Rally. Oh, the Graveyard Stun just missing.
Barely, too, man. I mean, you had a Tempest nearby, but still, with pretty much their entire team minus
That was
Bubbles,
a kill, yeah.
that was going to be a kill.
That's a big miss.
It's a big miss, but I mean, he's still sitting on that portal key. I mean, double portal keys between Witch and Pebbles.
Yeah.
Now moving over to the bottom lane. Blinked through, so not going to be detected by Keizu. Perceptive enough to know that they would probably be rotating and gets the hell on out of there. Actually, was that Keizu or was that? Yeah, that was Keizu. I believe. Playing the Wild Soul.
Top lane, look at Trell from Midori. He has a portal key. Steve, how about that, man?
Yeah, so 3 portal keys early on here.
Yeah, that and on top of just Bubbles in general, the fact that look at Hag. In the meantime, wow, Slicks is gonna pour it back before anything happens to him. But
you mean recovering?
Recovery, yeah, it's ridiculous. He was level 2, level 1 for the longest time, barely even got 2, and then all of a sudden here he is. He's level 8. You know, still not the best of levels necessarily, but 275 gold per minute later. So got the portal key as core item there with the Steam Boots. Looking pretty good. They're going to try to push the top lane. They were trying to gank in the jungle, but obviously not going to happen. So instead, they're going to push top here, I would assume. Is Complexity.
They felt. I mean, take a look at Keizu's farm there, too, man. Only 292, but up against that Witch Slayer in lane, even got picked off there by the gank and still maintained the farm. A little bit higher than many of the heroes on the Legion side. It's the power of the beast.
Comes a split push by State Green here.
Are they going to try to mass port the defend, or are they just going to let it go? Only 3 of them down here right now, but porting into a Tempest Torture can be absolutely devastating. They can see exactly where it's going, except for perfect. Well, there's one.
No invulnerability, though. That needs to be canceled, I was going to say. He's trying to maybe do some scare tactics, but SG wasn't having any of that. They committed to the tower kill, and they got the tower kill. Secondary tower at the top lane. We got Complexity trying to push that in themselves. Rally with the haste room running over. It is about to wear off right here. But he's setting up for perhaps his teammates to port in and line up with a stun to start things off. Ophelia, Glacius, and Pebbles still here. Complexity investing quite a bit right here. Wishler kind of hiding behind with that portal key of his, so maybe going to try to catch Stay Green off guard. We're going to get this tower kill. Stay Green is pushing the bottom lane in the meantime, so now it's a game of will Complexity fall back.
They probably envisioned some of these heroes, though. Ophelia can't port to the other side of the map, so overall they're pretty safe to keep. They would have been safe to keep pushing bottom. Bubbles didn't have a port on him. Witch Slayer now. I'm not sure how much information they had at the time, but looks like they are going back in now, having felt the situation out. And might see if anything scouted them out initially now. Z-Freak has a ward across the river in mid, but they're still in the woods. Just sort of logically breaking the situation down, deciding to go in and Shaman's Headdress now picked up by Tempest, so they've been looking to burst him down, stop him from getting up to Void off. Astrolabe, Shaman's Headdress.
Yeah.
If he survives that initial combo, we've seen the power of Jesse's Elemental Voids. The big Tempest ultimate coming out this tournament.
Well, it's kind of like it's a reverse portal key almost when you think about it. The fact if he's able to survive that upfront damage when they jump him, then he's like, okay, now it's my turn. You're already clumped up for me because you're trying to kill me.
Which kind of screws over a 6K investment here from the Legion team all on portal keys if they're not actually able to use them.
Yeah.
Basically jumping into their own deaths of a tanked up Tempest.
So here we are. Complexity roaming around the murderous Moppets. Here we got Bubbles, Witch Slayer, and Glacius. We'll try to find that opportunity, and they may get it if Z-Freak goes a little further. He's going to place a ward to Scythe, though, and then quickly fall back. So Z-Freak playing that Torture, not going to give them that opportunity. Instead, we have a Witch Slayer jumping in right here on a Wretched Hag. Just on the Silver Bullet. There we go. Going to use it. Will be enough for the kill the end. Yes, it will. Cannot blink away in time. But however, here comes Tempest. And Stay Green is pissed off. Trofador, the sacrificial lamb. Look at that. He's chasing
He's actually running
away.
towards them, making it actually
that was a very
apparent
smart
that, hey,
decision.
we picked off Wretched Hag, but just please take me, leave my team alone.
The good people. Yeah, so the sacrificial lamb again. It's Trofador.
I mean, he already has his portal key. He just needs to pick up some levels here. And besides that, doesn't really need to accomplish much else there. And he's fulfilling his game as Bubbles. As that's, I mean, honestly, C-Boot's portal key after being thrust into that situation where he was forced to leave the lane at level 1 by 19 minutes, pretty damn sound. 320 gold per minute. You got to go back to the teamwork, the tower pushes, the ganks to credit for that.
Wild Soul, where's Keizu at? 3,100 gold, so he went plenty of build-up here in terms of the items that he got initially. You do see the Ghost Marchers on the Bear, but now he is going that Sword of the High. And then the Mock of Brilliance, and still going to get it at a pretty efficient time here,
and actually,
especially with what he has.
Yeah, wanting to mention that as well. He actually, I was taking a look at his farm right after him, like 322. That's a little bit more than Steve Boots' portal key.
Yeah.
I looked at his CS there, 68. I was like, holy crap, he's actually picked up a lot of farm. He bought a Light Brand right before that death.
Okay.
So, going for that carry Bubbles route that we've seen before.
Talk about recovering, man. I mean,
yeah, pretty much on pace with this rally.
Yeah, that's Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. It seems like that's a little aggressive. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but seems a little aggressive. Well, so they're gonna drop Boo Boo here, but oh my gosh. Okay, there is no reaction.
But at what cost? They're
I
coming on
almost
in.
said
Boo
it,
Boo
but-
getting a lucky first hit root.
Wow, the first hit and take on the Hong Kong's in his favor right there. Slick's gonna be locked up at the kill pit though. Bubbles jumps in, but now he's in trouble. There's their Glacial Temper off the side. The Tempest ultimate, all they're gonna pull in Glacius really. The healing touch, keep it alive initially. It will finally fall though. A 2-for-0 exchange right there so far. And now State Green is in pursuit right here. The Skeleton King net coming on the Wild Soul. There's the net onto the Bear, but here comes Swinnamel's on rally. The demolishing roar, not gonna be enough to chase him down, it looks like in the end. And wow, Ophelia is actually going to make the getaway here as well as everyone else. So
I'm just pretty
Moomy
confused.
at her.
He's coming back in.
Bolts to the wall, Pebbles comes in, and down goes to Archer. But now, Witchslayer needs to be careful. Going to manage and rally. Will it be enough to take away Compel? No, it will not. It might not matter. Look at that CC coming out. But no, they get the pick at the end and fall back some more. So
It's an aggressive. Nice recovery there, at least getting the kill in the end. Boo Boo getting his sword. All of that effort in order to gank the Boo Boo, I'm not sure if it quite seems worth it. The first hit entangle obviously screwing up plans there for Pebbles, but I mean, let's take a look at it. They initially came with that Witchslayer stun. Had they his ultimate up, would have been able to pick off a kill. They just used it top, however. It was still down.
okay, so
Look
you
at
see
that,
right
50
here.
seconds still, so
Yeah, Boo Boo coming
watch
in,
this, actually, watch this.
and there we go.
that screws things up to begin with. Silence, perfectly placed, actually stops the Tempest ultimate. Look, they don't have any. Look, Witchslayer ultimate right there on Wretched Hag. What a stop it. Look what Wretched Hag does. Gets the Sonar Scream off. Big Bat Blast.
It's only Glacius.
Only Glacius, but still assisting and damage nonetheless. And in the end, Wretched Hag lives, you know? Gets all that assist gold and a little bit of a needless aggressive play all for the Bear.
Yeah.
If anything, if you're going to be aggressive, wait for those cooldowns.
I thought for sure he was going on a Wild Soul because Wild Soul was just a little bit to the right of the Bear. You know, maybe hit him behind a tree.
Alright.
All of a
Wild
sudden
Soul's
he
pretty
jumps
damn
Boo Boo.
tanky, though, to be going that deep.
Well,
so
that's the thing.
yeah.
Yeah, if they were going to go anyway, I thought it was going to be him for sure. But yeah, that was a very they're a very risky move, and it almost was a disaster.
We talked about it before, though, complexity, going for more of those big plays as a team. A little bit flashy and sometimes paying off huge. I mean, we saw it pay off in the first time they played against Stay Green. They were ganking them left and right in those games and taking total control. And sometimes establishing them the advantage, you help them crawl out of bad situations. Sometimes throwing away a decent thing that they have going for them.
Witchslayer getting the sacrificial stone, so trying to become more supportive for his team right there. As you see, Ophelia pushing up, using those plated greaves as the minions. What kind of armor does she have? The 2 Skeleton Kings and the Minotaur, of course. So has ways to stop Tempest with those Skeleton Kings. And obviously Tempest doesn't have a Shrunken Head just yet, even.
No Elemental Void either, but that Barrier Idol on top of a Mighty Blade. There's no way they're dropping Tempest now.
Booby's going to be frozen there, eventually gets out. Raleigh was chasing in, but oh, look at Witchslayer. Look at Moomy in this position. They want to try to catch them off guard here.
This would be a big team fight, but
not going to happen.
How to make it happen right now. They're all going for pretty solid build-up. They're all pretty damn tanky at this moment.
Yeah.
Looking at the max amount of damage coming out of the Legion team, and I'm afraid if they just take a head-on fight, I think they need to be a little more crafty than that. Especially now with the Mox coming out. They have 3 portal keys. Look to be able to make it happen, but sort of having to revolve around SG's game at this point.
Well, the damage start, by the way. Witchslayer taking care of business when it comes to hero damage. 26% of the hero damage done in this game belonging to him. And
maybe a little bit insight as to why Moon's playing that role right there. But
I guess so.
It goes back. He was applying a lot of harass in the lane throughout as well.
He's trying to find an opportunity right here. I mean, there is a regen rune, so he's going to maybe try to catch somebody who's going for it, but no one to do so. Instead, he may just get it himself, although it is a regen again, so not going to do much for him. May not be worth the sacrifice, the risk even of going for it. So the mock complaints, I assume, has been finished on Boo Boo, by the way. Where is Boo Boo?
No, yeah, it was finished for a bit now. It's bottom lane about a minute or 2 ago.
Justy is working on the Shrunken now. He's got the Mighty Blade picked up.
I think extra on top of that, too. Seeing at 443. Actually, does he have the hammer and base? I might have missed it. I saw you seeing a decent amount of gold before.
I mean, he has some big eye in it. Barrier Idol, Astrolabe, Plated Graves.
Either way,
so it's coming quickly.
He's pretty much unkillable at his current state.
Yeah.
Wild Soul pretty much unkillable in the jump. You're looking at a Wretched Hag who formerly thought to be fragile and suffering a little bit in this game. Only 247, but tanking straight up as well. Having that Steam Boots, Vestment, Sackstone, and Mighty Blade combo up to almost 1,400 health herself. Only one they could really go for, as far as a quick pick-off is concerned, is this Torture. No vestments yet.
Yeah.
Besides that, just needs to control the farm. Make sure that Tempest ultimate gets canceled as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Maybe even delaying the seismic slam too.
Again, we got Moomiander and Trout both really roaming together here at this top lane, waiting for any victim. You see, they're just going to sit here at the top creep wave, as on the mini-map doesn't look like that may happen, although Rally is running over now. Yeah, going back and forth, him and Tempest are a little indecisive, and were they spotted somehow? Because Stay Green kind of grouping up over here. Starting to move out somewhat, or if anything, they're just kind of protecting one another. Make sure that
they might get greedy and go for this, man. If they do, they're going to be surrounded.
Oh, for Witch Slayer, or they're going for Wild Soul, actually. I don't know about that. Wild Soul, damn tanky. Oh, man, this could be a disaster for Witch Slayer. He's going to get a tangle. There's a Pat Blast. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why?
He has 1,700 health and vestments. We just went over the fact that they probably couldn't kill him.
Not to mention, the Wretched Hag was literally right next to
Well, right, exactly. If you figure Wretched Hag is there, you know why. It's because they say, hey, the tower's down. They might not be grouped as 5. Meanwhile, Glacia's getting jumped by Cinnamons on the bottom lane, and just like that, Stay Green was beginning to lose a little bit of their gold lead. It was evening out. They were doing a great job of farming that just like that.
I mean, is that nerves or what? Like, I'm honestly in shock right now.
It's the same thing we've been seeing. They're going for these aggressive ganks. Well, I think they feel like they need to make something happen, or else they're going to fall prey to this Wild Soul lineup. I mean, that's the only thing I can imagine, is that they're actually feeling kind of desperate here in this game and looking for a pick-off to try to convert it into something, but there's no tower in the top lane, so maybe they figured that they wouldn't all be in the woods together still. I mean, Stay Green not exactly running the train, just sort of group farming, sticking together to cover each other's back. That kill, not only give them the 2 kills, but Hunger going to fall for them as well.
Yep, Wretched Hag going to pick up that token of life, and she also is getting very close to that shrunken head of hers. So Slicks coming along very nicely here. It's only farming 270 gold per minute is Slick, so really not the most impressive GPM farm, but he is doing good enough, to say the least. And now with that token of life, obviously going to help things out quite a bit. So, yeah, that's a big mistake there by Complexity. And you see what happens as a result. So, what lead they were worried about, maybe Stay Green starting to pick up. I mean, it just kind of helped them a little bit even. But
right now, Wretched Hag has pretty much guaranteed insurance to get that shrunken head before having to engage in another fight. And even if she does, probably likely get out alive. They have a lot of front load, not that much in terms of sustained damage. Bubbles was looking to farm a Grimoire power here.
Yeah.
But still, haven't sealed the deal quite yet on that.
Soul's Bulwark coming along nicely here on Boo Boo.
This kind of feels like the game 1 they actually had against them when they actually had the Wretched Hag themselves and had a pure magic damage team.
Yeah, it does.
Well, very similar thing going on here. And, well, against all these tanky heroes, Tempest going straight tank route, the Wild Soul, the Rally, even Wretched Hag building it. Kind of a direct counter.
Here we go, Stay Green. I think it's time for the group up stage, and just kind of grouping up and pushing together now for them. They're very confident at this point, you know, with that token of life especially. The shrunken heads that are coming up, not only for Tempest, for Wretched Hag, probably even for Rally as well.
Wild Soul's Boo Boo picked off.
Okay, well that's something.
That's definitely something for sure. I'm going to try to force Stay Green to come back. Of course, they have all heroes that are fine with mobilizing back to base. Not exactly an Ophelia. He needs to drag her creeps with her.
Yeah.
So going to go for a quick defense here. No ports yet, at least on Wretched Hag, so they're keeping their eye on that. It's okay if she comes late to the party, though. Everyone else pretty much here, minus the Tempest. They actually saw Tempest probably had no port on him and was walking back to base. Securing a little bit of damage and glyph being used.
Ooh, okay. Bubbles. A little ninja-like there. The imports away, and that'll be that. So the bottom lane obviously being pushed up by the creep wave. VKid's going to take advantage of that. He has his demonic breastplate, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that, but I think he just got it recently. He has another 1,200 gold, however, saved up. Bubbles, another 2,100 for him. You know, going the light brand, I guess we can assume
it's got to be a Grimoire,
straight into the Grimoire, yeah. Again, I mean, for the style that they're looking for, I guess it does make sense. You know, you're really just trying to get as much upfront damage as possible, and a life brand could definitely assist with that, and eventually the Grimoire, but she is vulnerable.
Just gotta be careful. No portal key there for Chesty playing the Tempest, so.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about the pick-off this time. You all Stay Green. Another well-timed push. Grouping up here for the top lane. Looking to take out one of the 2 last remaining outer towers here. The second tiers. And they're not screwing around. They're not going with 2. They're not going with 3. They're bringing their entire team. Meanwhile, Complexity, noting that, split pushing and trying to make up for this experience drop that they're experiencing.
Yeah. The last outer tower? No, the middle one still is up as well. So top secondary goes down right there. So now the last outer tower for Stay Green to take care of at least is that middle one. Bubbles might need to be a little careful. Regdak hanging around still, but no, he's not going to hang around for too long, it looks like. But there's the bottom lane push. Speaking of outer towers, this is the last one remaining for Stay Green. Port's coming in. They want to try to catch them. Not going to be able to get close enough, though. However, the minions are going to fall right here, looks like. So one Skeleton King.
Worthy gank in zone. They're continuing to chase, but not able to punish him for it. Still 5 in their pursuit.
Wow.
Actually trying to catch him out there. Witchslayer's son gonna cover their trail.
It's not over just yet, though. Riser. Oh, he flicks right into Riser. And Riser is going to fall. I do not see him getting out of here, man. Will even touch. Obviously not even necessary. Pretty much can accept death at this point, delaying as much as possible, but Riser does go down. So a great pursuit by Stay Green right there. Ends up getting a kill out of it. Onto the Ophelia.
Mentioned before, they were trying to convert it. Top and middle both pushed out, so in terms of netting those second-tier tower kills, not have much luck there yet. Let's take a look at that token duration on Witchslayer. 2.5 minutes, and Complexity knows they cannot win a fight against the token, but Stay Green not confident enough to break base yet, so probably gonna have to let this token go.
Torture falling back before he gets caught. He's running past the ward of sight right there, but both Witchslayer and Pebbles were actually pretty nearby. Not able to get the exact range, though, to ideally jump him. Okay, Bubbles does buy an Arcana. So, I mean, that's what I was kind of getting at, the more utility style of... I guess that the Light Brand itself will be great assistance for farming and to get to that point of getting those utility items, but does choose to go the Arcana now, so probably going to see a Hellflower here.
Yeah, maybe he's saying, hey, at this point, yeah, maybe they were going for Grimoire initially, but like, hey, we need a Hellflower or something. He's getting shrunken. Well, here's the thing. He's getting shrunken head now, and Tempest has the Barrier Idol. If he's not able to stop it, and the Astrolabe, look at how much just the defensive wall he's putting up there. If they're not able to get that Hellflower off on him, he will absolutely ruin them. Chessie, with those amazing elemental voids, shrunken head, nothing else can stop it pretty much besides the Hellflower initiation, or maybe, you know, Morph Witchslayer, but that's still just not... Still worrisome when you actually have to use your Morph to disable him, and you still have to worry about the rest of the team too. Having an extra disabled at 4.5 seconds on him to keep him down could be what they need to kill the rest of the team.
Soulsborne currently set positive, but be surprised to see that changed up here by Khezu eventually. But Soulsborne, Mock of Brilliance, another 1,000 gold on him. Cleaning up some ancients right here, getting some assistance from Torture. Z-Freak always managing to get Steam Boots, man, it seems like. Playing any support, it's just it's obviously definitely a team effort to do that with the tower pushes and whatnot and hero kills. But Z-Freak, another case here, getting Steam Boots, so bulking up even a little bit more, as well as the Mystic Vestments. Not giving free kills by any means. And Stay Green again, grouping up. They're going to look for an opportunity. They tried to find one right there. I believe Ophelia was nearby. However, Riser does react in time this time, and is going to survive for now. But again, Stay Green, that token to life. We talked about it just 30 seconds left. So they really are trying to force this issue, but it makes sense. Token of life being so low, this is going to be a tower kill. Complexity, I don't even see them remotely defending this. Boo Boo just hitting, bashing that tower down. The assistance comes in, and there you go with the tower. So all outer tower, though again this bottom tower is still up for Stay Green, but other than that, the outer towers have been destroyed on both sides. And SG may keep going. Token of life is about to wear off, so not going to go any further. They got the invulnerability to be used at least.
Right, got the invulnerability to be used, and well, that is something, but token about to fall.
Yeah. Going to go off and...
Just to clarify for people, Skeleton King, yeah, it can cancel the Tempest Elemental Void through Shrunken Head, but still, you have to worry about the positioning of the Skeleton Kings, all that on top of it.
A lot easier
but besides that, it's not just about the Elemental Void. Being forced to use the Disable on it's already one thing, but also the Astrolabe, the Barrier Idol, that defend. We talked about it being so hard to puncture their defenses in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, Rally Invis. Witchslayer's in trouble.
He's walking by a ton of minions as well.
There's a Demoralizer Roar. They're going to go off. Seismic Slap, putting in auto attacks, but no, not going to be enough. So that was honestly, the minions were, I think the minions, I don't want to say they screwed everything up necessarily, but it gave Moomiator an initial, like, okay, what's going on here? And then the team support was coming over, and by the time they tried to maybe get a kill, it was obviously too late. So Swinamels just didn't risk it. He jets on out of there.
Kind of funny that we actually didn't see Wilds over the longest time here.
Yeah.
Still being considered a top-tier pick, clearly, by both Complexity and...
Great point.
We saw him actually throughout the tournament, but, I mean, not being used to much success, but Complexity against Stay Green EU, and now Stay Green in the grand finals, busting him out.
Yeah. Bubbles porting back. He has enough for that third Arcana. And going to purchase the Hellflower right there, so... Do the Hellflower. Remember, no amplified damage anymore, but still applies that silence, the perplexing effect even to the target. So still very useful, of course. Top of that portal key he has. And now we'll probably upgrade that into the Grimoire.
He's going for more of that battle route with the Grimoire power. You have to also remember Hellflower, pretty much a great intelligence carry item in general, giving him the 51 damage and the attack speed and the intelligence. So
yeah. Let's give him more of a right-click presence, that's for sure. Ophelia, 1,900 gold, 2,200 on Witchslayer. Shrunken Head, finished by B-Kid. He's bulked up, man. 419 gold per minute. He's constantly been competing, and right now he even is the top farm in the game.
All it takes is one fight. Witchslayer also working towards the Shrunken Head, only 700 off.
Yeah.
All it takes is one fight. Not really having the mass buybacks here on Stay Green either, so if they're able to put the pieces together, get the right pickoffs at the start of the fight, disable the right heroes, still not out of the question. Definitely looking tough, though, here.
Trough going back and forth. They have the sword aside on the cliff, so we're using it earlier when Boo Boo and Tempest were over here, but again, Stay Green also a very smart team, and they knew something was up, so.
I'm just trying to look at how Complexity can try to win these team fights. And Demonic Breastplate's up on Pebbles. That's really important for them to actually have physical damage presence here.
Yeah.
Bubbles going down ability has quite a bit of right-click potential as well. I mentioned before they need to stop this Tempest. I mean, Hellflower has to come out on him. I cannot see any other way. Shrunken Head and Hag able to work around it. Torture has to be sort of caught out in the initiate as well. Still pretty squishy. Has seen boots investments, but only 967 health. Taking out the turret. Kongor fight going to happen here. Does Complexity really want to enter another token war against Stay Green? You almost feel like battling them here might be their strongest chance.
Not even close, though. It's not going to happen.
They're just trying to go for super late and hoping they screw up at this point, then.
They're making their way over somewhat, but I don't even know if they really spotted it. There is a Sword of Sight here, but honestly, you know, it only gives you so much. They did a pretty good job of hugging the
yeah, but they
right
knew
there.
The token dropped, so they had to have been expecting it here.
True.
There's no way they're not talking about it in an important game like this. They're not caught by surprise.
It did spawn right, and right as it spawned, they went.
It was a conscious decision
very
to let that one go.
Okay.
Vision or not.
Bubbles at the top lane. Gonna just clean up as much as they can right there before in fact you see Porter King away and then Homecoming Zone back to base. So no Kongor distraction by Complexity, and that means a token of life on Wretched Hag. So Slicks, he really hasn't had the most sexy of games when it comes to the goal per minute this time around, but it has stepped up quite a bit, 333 GPM now.
Initially being targeted quite a lot in those fights, victim to Witchslayer, who in the early to mid game is quite effective at shutting down a Wretched Hag, but now that hitting late game stride, Grimoire power, or potential Sheepstick coming out for him.
Yeah.
Actually more than likely a Sheepstick.
Got that bound die on Wild Soul, great hero to have it on, of course. Bulky target, and he has that minion to assist as well. Witchslayer, he's gonna be fine.
They're grouping up, man.
Yep.
They're ready to seal the deal.
Yes, they are.
Drive game one home.
Is this it? Will Complexity be able to hold this off? You see at the bottom lane, Bubbles and Pebbles are going to push that in before anything happens. Okay, so they get the tower
still
lane to get
3
back,
seconds of non-presence here.
Look at that.
Got to watch out for the melee racks. See, that's not going to take much longer.
Glacier's going to freeze. Says no more damage for you.
Oh, Pebbles not even there yet.
Comes back in.
Really going to have to force this one.
Pebbles looking for the target. Stalagmites there. We just want to kill Boo Boo, man. Look at that. The melee rack is going to fall.
They can't engage anymore. I mean, they have no Pebbles Stalagmites for 20 seconds at this point, so.
Yeah.
Making a point that they actually know they can't fight.
Yeah.
They want to. Trust me, they want to fight, but they're like, hey, they've got token. As much as it sucks, we have to force them to try to break another side and keep building up for that ultra late game stage.
He didn't even kill the bear in the process. I mean, doing all they could.
Close.
All they could to try to stop the melee rack's push, but it just wasn't going to happen. You're right. They know that they need those picks. They need the ganks. They need to Stay Green 1 or 2 heroes to be off by themselves for whatever reason. Like bottom right now. I mean, it is a Wild Soul, but he is currently by himself. Again, just trying to get there in time, and capitalizing on that. But so I mean that's where you could honestly, yeah, you could definitely understand why Complexity, because you know very easily Complexity could have jumped in right there and the game could be over right now because Stay Green would have fought them off and then we would be GGs. But this could be it. Rally is going to be picked up right here perhaps. There's a stun. The Pebbles follow up. Bubbles comes in as well. The Sheep, and down goes Rally. That's exactly what Complexity needs.
And the kill, yeah, you can at least delay a push by 60 seconds here. Maybe 3 minutes on the token by there. He's behind the clock, man. 44:30, he'll be roughly when that token drops.
Yeah. 4 minutes.
See, I mean, it took enough patience finally getting a pick off.
Mm-hmm.
Wild Soul, though, I mean, they're trying to run late game here with the primary magic damage team, and they're going up against a Wild Soul. Victorious for the feared potential 12 item slots if it goes late enough.
It's not the most ideal circumstances, but they don't have much of a choice, of course. Wretched Hag does finish the Grimoire. We got Portal Key on the Tempest, now another 1,400 gold for him, so not only is he beefy, he's got the Shrunken Head, but now he has a way to just really get in there with the Tempest, or the Portal Key, of course.
And thus the countdown to the Restoration Stone begins.
And you pretty much can guarantee that's next.
So as much as they're wanting to turtle out here, only going to have so much of a window before they actually truly have to make something happen here. Going up against the Restoration Stone Tempest. Cannot see them coming through.
Grimoire finished on Bubbles. Witch Slayer, he has his own Shrunken Head, of course. Storm Spirit on Ophelia. Great combo item for him, obviously. Send somebody back to base. Roll them up.
Speaking of Boo Boo right now, still very far from that 12 item cap, obviously. And it's more of a dream than anything. You rarely are actually able to hit it. Sometimes you see 7, I mean, with Brutalizers and stuff on both or Savage Mace pickups, but as the game goes on, still, Wild Soul right now, having that Shaman's Headdress, Bound Eye, Ghost Marchers on the main hero along with the board, and on the bear. Actually, where is the Boo Boo right now?
Yeah, I was... Or whether it should be like a Gemini, when the Gemini dogs are split up, so that's like an obvious icon. It'd be a lot easier. But yeah, Boo Boo's at the top lane currently.
There
Bubbles. Okay, here we go. I mean, 1 set of racks, okay. 2 sets of racks, I mean, you can't give that up, so.
No. Game's essentially over at that point going against the push team.
Still not ideal, but you gotta go sometime in Complexity. See Wretched Hag pushing up again. He has the token, so that's why Slicks is playing even more aggressive. Pebbles charging in. They're gonna kill the bear right here. But at what cost? Here's the follow-up. The Pebbles coming out. Pebbles Storm Spirit. The Tempest on the mid of the back, and it is gonna be a full duration. Skeleton King coming over, but it's not gonna be netted in time.
No buyback for Bubbles.
Looking bad right here. Bubbles is dead. Not buying back as you mentioned. Pebbles did, but it's probably not gonna matter. Stay green. The power's just too much. Pushing into the base. We got Beacon and Chess or Riser back here. Just all they can do is watch. All they can do is watch as their buildings fall here.
Everyone's dead. Yeah, Ophelia minions down, except for this one Skeleton King. That's going to be Mega Creeps. That's going to be GG's for game 1.
Yeah.
Stay Green going to enter the arena 1 game up.
Sure are. Complexity, obviously, again, just going to fight to the very bitter end, but you ain't coming back from this. Mega Creep spawns, and there's GG's.
Okay.
Maybe just talking it over. We're getting ready for the next game, perhaps even, but GG, well played. It is official. Stay Green takes the first game over Complexity here in this straight-up best out of 3. Grand Finals, DreamHack Summer 2013. And there's your first result so far in the first game. Man, oh man. Stay Green. Again, you mentioned with the Wild Soul, I mean, Stay Green definitely going back to their roots in a sense.
The thing I noticed more, though, was this, that once again, they were relying on those safe plays, and they had a lineup that, well, they knew that through safe plays they could guarantee a win.
Yeah.
Complexity more, so they probably felt like they were on a timer going up against this Wild Soul, going against this Tempest. So in a case like that, you maybe get behind them, get into their minds, and you understand why maybe they're making crazy plays, like trying to pick off the Boo Boo and back off and then maybe reinitiate. Maybe it was on cooldown.
Yeah.
And you understand maybe why they took those risks. It's because they're not picking a lineup that's going to allow themselves to have that comfort of like, oh yeah, we can scale as the game goes on. We can take them late. So they're pretty much forced to make these crazy plays. In the end, Stay Green playing their safe game, backing each other up perfectly at no threat at all, and eventually the lead growing to a point where they can't do anything. Wild Soul's attacking the racks. They just have to sit there and watch their middle racks fall, succumbing to Kongor twice. And well, Stay Green, they did win the roll. They got their favorite side, of course, everyone's favorite side, and taking game 1 in dominating fashion.
Again, they didn't win the roll. They earned it because it came from the winner's bracket.
Oh,
so,
duh. Okay, even better at that point.
Exactly.
So I was wondering what the advantage was because, of course, going to be a frustrating. Yeah.
That's a big deal. Coming from the winner's bracket, they got the right to choose which side, and obviously Hellborn is the choice for pretty much all these top-tier teams. And That definitely helped, no doubt. But State Green, the lineup that they had to put together, it was just became a force that was not to be stopped by.
I wish I could get into the head of complexity during the drafting phase there. I feel like they picked proper late game lineups or lineups that could still be effective in the early on, but scale as the tournament went through. But I felt like State Green, since they saw the drafting phase, they're just like, okay, just make the game last 30 minutes. Don't do anything too stupid, and we're going to take the win.
Yeah, complexity. Just like the first game against State Green in the winter, I mean, they got off to a decent start. They were playing aggressive.
Right.
They were getting kills, but, a couple of decisions, maybe a little overextension. I clear in my mind that top lane, Witch Slayer and Bubbles, they jump Keizo and Wild Soul. Again,
I know. That was
when Hag. So it's one thing with the note tower, maybe the support's 90, but Hag, I could have sworn was on the screen. I don't know if we have that one, but I could have sworn he was on the screen.
Hag was on the screen. The thing is, we do have God Vision, and the point is, maybe they figured even with Hag there, if they could drop Wild Soul, they could port out. Hag does not have any way to interrupt the stuns, and the towers are both down on top. Yeah. And as I was going back to, they were on a timer. They knew they were up against a Wild Soul. What's one way they can try to overcome them, maybe stop a Conqueror attempt? That's in getting that kill, making it happen. So I honestly feel like they made that attempt knowing that they were desperate and maybe figuring that was their highest chance to make a play happen.
I think we actually have that right here. I believe it's right as they jump in, so we can say
obviously that was a horrible choice. But
right there, so... Hag's like, okay, so they go for. I was thinking they're going for. I think I was even commenting.
Go for Hag.
Oh, wait a second, going for Wild Soul.
Wild Soul, and then the bear there's even just not doing so much work, even without. And then the rush. I mean, look at it there, man. Even if they were to have killed them, probably going to have lost Moon Meander anyway. So, in the end, clearly a horrible decision. Just trying to help you to understand maybe why they made a choice like that. I would like to see Complexity stray away from this magic-heavy base lineups. Go for more mixed damage. Go for just something with a little bit more late-game presence that can actually have early-game force as well. I honestly hate that anxiety of, oh, we're about to get Wild Soul. Oh, we're about to get Tempested. Don't let that happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, Game 1 in the books here. DreamHack Summer 2013 Grand Finals. It belongs to State Green. It is a best out of 3, though. Again, to quickly explain one last time what is going to be happening here. So we are going to be taking a break. I believe it's set to be about a 45-minute break. It's set to start in about 45 minutes, again, with the arena and the setup and everything. There might be some delays. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. It's obviously with the big live event and everything, what has to happen. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated as much as possible. But at this point, it is set to start at 5:30 Eastern. 5:30 p.m. Eastern, that is 23:30 Central European time for those that are over in Europe and also happen to be at the DreamHack event. Head on over now to the Dream Arena. In fact, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's already a line at the Dream Arena.
Probably.
There usually is.
Yeah, exactly.
There usually is, and waiting to get in. So, again, we're going to be taking a break right here, get things shifted over there as far as the live event goes. As far as you're on Honcast, if you're tuning in, you're not at DreamHack or anything, the stream and everything, for the most part, should be the same. So don't worry about that, guys. We just will be going into a break here. And then we'll be coming back at you with the Game 2 of the Grand Finals here for the DreamHack Summer 2013 event. So, I mean, Emperor, any final words before we go into this break here?
I said my piece, Breaky. Okay. I'm wanting this series to go Game 3.
Of course.
For the sake of the viewer, sake of the casters. Stay Green, though, looking completely dominant, looking back to their old form. They said they were making mistakes before. Troll said in his interview, too, man. They were making tons of mistakes. They did not look like the old Stay Green. The old Stay Green is back. They've got it. They've got all the motivation they need. They broke that short spell or that curse that they had. And once again, I feel like that loss, the 3 losses they actually took, and then winning, I feel like winning actually got boring for them as I'm not saying that's why they lost, but taking those 3 losses, maybe feeling the pain of defeat, and then going back on their win streak, feeling that whole rush again that they may have felt when they were initially climbing to the top. I mean, I honestly feel like that's a huge motivating factor.
There's a phrase I like to use, a saying even, the blessing in disguise. And I think to an extent it kind of was that. It humbled them to an extent, realizing, okay, these teams can't beat us. We just lost 3 games in a row after winning 52 freaking games, which, again, is godly impressive when it comes to competitive versus newer. So, but regroup, okay, what's done is done. Clearly, they adjusted. They adjusted both mentally, physically, I mean, everything when it came down to it. Back to the roots, and Stay Green looking very strong. A couple of other points I want to bring up, too, which is actually kind of interesting. One is, first off, I'm trying to think back. I can't quote on this, but the DreamHack Grand Finals, I don't know if we've ever had a 3-game series. Okay, there is one that actually just hit me. Frenetic Array versus Fnatic MSI.
Yeah, they actually
won the first game. And then Fnatic came back and won the next 2.
And I remember Java Waba on Torture in Game 3 against Polywog Priest. No-Tail, was that it?
The first game, but
the
yeah,
first game was a Tremble game with the Hellflower, I think, and a Portal Key ultimately picked up. That I'm sorry, going back. I mean, I've been a Han fan for so long now. Going back over DreamHack history just gets me excited.
Yeah, no, there's been some great matchups all throughout the DreamHacks and the Grand Finals especially, of course. Every single one seems to be great, but I think that's the only one that's ever been 3 games. So definitely looking to kind of repeat here, perhaps. On top of that, though, the bracket stage, as you guys may have noticed, and again, you can go to ghostofgamers.net/Han and even see it for yourself. Every single series was 2-0. There was no 3-game series in the bracket stage.
That's right. Actually, Beef messaged before the game. He's like, are we finally going to see a 3-game series here?
Change
Please let us see a 3-game series.
Change things up, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time. I think it's time to take a break right here. Again, get everything shifted over at the DreamHack event. We are going to be casting in about 40 to 45 minutes from now. If not, again, we'll keep you guys updated at the very least. I'll let you know what's going on. Game number 2, Complexity State Green, the DreamHack Summer 2013 Grand Finals will be upon us. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.